Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. So I hope you're having a great week so far. I want to focus on something, that really bothers me with the current state of the sports card hobby. And that has to do with an economic term. And that economic term is called fake rarity or scarcity, or you could call it false scarcity. And the issue I have with false scarcity is how it's really being used to drive sales at Tops. And I know people love their sports cards, don't get me wrong. But it's the constant wash, rinse, and repeat of fake or false scarcity that really gets me. And it relates to chasing one of ones. So anyway, I've noticed a lot of feedback about a video that Jeff Wilson put out entitled "Is Collecting Dead? Rant, chasing hits and flipping is not killing collecting." And I'll be honest, I have not watched it. And the reason why I don't watch Jeff Wilson is I watch sports card content quite often on YouTube. And I have attempted to watch Jeff Wilson, years ago. And I just could not take it. I just felt like, he's just so far removed from reality that everything he says doesn't really line up. And I could say that for all millionaires, in the sports card hobby, that, it's just a lot of these people come from rich families. They've always had it good their whole lives. They've always had what they wanted. I can't really relate to that. I'm a businessman who's had to start at the bottom and work my way up. I'm still, moving into other businesses. But I don't like big sports card channels on YouTube. Now, if you're a big sports card channel, maybe I will watch you here and there. But typically, I stay away from channels that look like they have studios for sports cards. And I could say that in general for all of YouTube. I do not like professionally made content on YouTube. I prefer to find amateur hour on YouTube. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's not just sports cards that I'm watching. Whether it's someone talking about news, whether it's someone talking about, like UFOs or aliens. If it's a professionally made show that looks like it could be on TV, I am not watching you. And if you have a studio and you're just a YouTube channel, I am not watching you for the most part. Maybe there's a few podcasts that, they're studio-ish to an extent, but I still feel like, these guys are not millionaires, So that's the way I feel about sports card content. I know everyone has, their own opinions on, who they want to watch. But, I've had wealthy girlfriends. I typically don't like to go down that route, Why is that? Probably for the same reason I don't watch Jeff Wilson, I'm not a big fan of the millionaire and billionaire class of the United States. Because it's like, to me, so many of these guys could just go live their lives and not ruin everything for everybody else, Whether they become politicians, whether they open up sports card shows here, like, this, Jeff Wilson, and his big sports card HQ or whatever, in Georgia, wherever that store's at. I'm just not very impressed. I'd rather just have some guy who has been doing sports cards for many years, who struggles, who maybe has a shop, or he's just getting by, and who's finding things out about sports cards, and not always talking down to me like millionaires tend to do in the U.S. That's what I've always noticed about millionaires. Whatever they do, they're always right. We're always wrong. So, are you going to be happier collecting sports cards? Are you going to be happier watching content that isn't getting, shelled out from millionaires? Or the Fanatics Live Scream Fest, that, we know that Topps Fanatics Live is paying these people to rip open, Topps cards, I just believe you're going to be a lot happier, Okay, so this is from a Google Gemini AI overview. And like it says at the top there, fake rarity or scarcity in a product means creating a false impression that a product is limited in supply or availability when it is not. This is often done to manipulate consumers into making quick purchasing decisions or paying a higher price. It can be achieved through misleading messages about stock levels, high demand, or limited time offers. All right. So like it says, limited availability. Claiming only a certain number of units are available, even if more are readily available. Limited time offers. Create a sense of urgency by displaying countdown timers or limited time discounts, even if the deal is not truly time sensitive. Exclusive access. Limiting access to a product or service to specific groups or through memberships, even if it could be offered more widely. High demand. Displaying messages indicating high demand or rapid sales, even if the product is not actually in high demand. And why it's used. Increased demand. By creating a sense of urgency and exclusivity, business can artificially boost demand for a product. Higher prices. Consumers are more likely to pay a premium for a product they perceive as rare or scarce. Reduce haggling. The perception of scarcity can discourage price negotiation. Ethical concerns. Misleading consumers. Fake scarcity can deceive consumers into making purchases they might not otherwise make. Damaged trust. Repeatedly employing fake scarcity can erode trust in a brand or business. And exploitation of psychology. It can prey on consumers' desire for exclusivity and fear of missing out. Yes, that's very important. The exploitation of psychology. And then we have some examples for counterfeit luxury goods. I'm not going to go over that, but we're going to hit the limited edition products. Businesses might create limited edition products to generate hype and demand, even if they are not generally limited in supply. Yes. And that brings us to the one of one. Now, here's another one I want to add to that as well. Flash sales and discounts. Websites might display countdown timers or limited time offers that don't accurately reflect the product's availability. Yes. And we have seen that, with all of the countdown timers and sports cards. And so this notion of false scarcity or fake rarity or scarcity in a product is really such a big marketing ploy in sports cards that consumers really don't even notice it. For one of ones, the big issue at the Topps X website is this continued pushing of the one of one gimmicks. You can watch it year in and year out. So right here, this was just pulled. Dana White's one of one superfractor autograph from 2025 Topps Chrome V-Friends, okay? Via the Pokemon Fathers /IG, okay? Gotcha. But then we come to the marketing ploy of Topps. And this is where I want to, relate that creating false scarcity, rarity, or, false rarity, fake rarity, whatever, is just such an important part of Topps. Look at this, just in. Hyesung Kim gets his first autograph card ever to celebrate his first MLB home run. Chase the 1/1 autograph with first home run inscription for 24 hours, okay? That's a Topps now. 1/1. Why do you think that they are always showing 1/1s on the Topps website for X? Just in. Lamine Yamal and Travis Scott are combined for a 1/1 dual autograph card. One lucky collector who buys the base version of this card will receive the 1/1 dual auto with their order. There you go. And then, of course, we have, is this a 1/1? Yep, that's a 1/1. They call Hobby Wit. If you look there, that's a 1/1. And there we go. Here's another one. Just in, Andor Season 2 is getting its own official trading card. Chase rare parallels and autographs for the next 72 hours only. Yes. Fake rarity and scarcity. Notice, it doesn't have to be 72 hours. That's just it. This card is dirty. This is a Mookie Betts 1/1, okay? First look. Arena Sabalenka's match used racket knob went into a 1/1 autograph trading card. All right. Here we go again. Look, first look. Sir Alex Ferguson's first ever autograph in the history of trading cards. All right, it's always a 1/1. Sir Alex Ferguson, another 1/1. Available in 2024-25 Topps UCC Chrome. It's always the 1/1s. Here we go. A Corbin Carroll 1/1 rookie autograph. Okay. I'm going to just stop here. It just goes on and on with the Topps marketing of false scarcity, false rarity, creating manufactured rarity and scarcity so that they can pretend that they're selling you like an old baseball card from the 1920s, 1930s, whatever, like an old Babe Ruth card, that's scarce and rare. They have to do this so they can make the big dollars. But aren't you getting tired of the scheme and the scam? You can go here any time of week, and that's all you're going to see is Topps hyping up more 1/1s to chase. Chase the 1/1. Chase the 1/1. Chase the 1/1. Are you getting tired of chasing the 1/1? You know what I mean? It's just another gimmick. Anyway, I wish the gimmick tree with sports cards would end. I wish that maybe they'd start putting more out, because we know that they can do it. They're creating, false scarcity to drive the chase. Chase the 1/1. Chase the 1/1. Problem is, there's only 1/1. It's like a lottery ticket, and then, we constantly get many 1/1s in each, product release for the most part these days. And if you watched my previous video, I just wish that we could create a product, a modern product that is good for the consumer and shies away from all the gimmicks, false gimmicks, whatever, chase the 1/1, because it's not a good feeling, to roll into sports cards and to always have the manufactured scarcity as the big chase, when we all know that they could release more cards for the consumers like they used to do. But the higher ups at Topps Fanatics, and it's not just them, it's Panini as well. The higher ups prefer to roll out gimmicks over being fair and honest with the consumer. So we can chase the one of one, chase the one of one, chase the one of you. I see that all the time with Tops and their Tops website. And it's just like they need to change course. They need a fresh product. They need a new gimmick. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of it. Chasing the one of one is exhausting. Anyway, if you have any other comments, always like comments, leave them. Opinions are great. Thank you to all my subscriber base. You're the ones keeping this channel together. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed and you're a viewer, please subscribe. It's 100% free. All you have to do is click the button. I can improve the channel, and I won't have to work for Google and YouTube for free forever. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.